Hey everyone, it's my review of The Flash Season 5, Episode 2, called Blocked. And basically what this episode is about is that while Team Flash is trying to track down this metahuman that's stealing a bunch of high-tech weaponry, they also cross paths with another metahuman named Cicada, who is tracking down that same other villain for more nefarious purposes than what Team Flash has intended. And this was a really, really great episode that was mostly a setup episode for what's to come, because the first episode was mostly just sort of like reintroducing all the characters and plots and stuff that they left off with. So this episode was very much more them getting into some of like nitty gritty of what this season's going to be about and stuff. So it was just a lot of like setting up Cicada and sort of introducing the team to him and doing all this different stuff. So there wasn't a whole lot to this episode, it was just setup, but still it was interesting to see how like the team interacted with each other and how all of these story plots that they're creating are developing and stuff. And with that, I found it very interesting how they very quickly sort of introduced Nora's like problem to the rest of Team Flash, saying that she's actually in the past here on purpose and that she's here to get to know her dad, because for her whole life her dad has been missing and stuff. So that I found it very interesting that they did decide to introduce that side of Nora to the rest of the team very quickly instead of like keeping it a secret between her and Barry. And then it was also interesting and fun in the scene where Barry goes to Joe for some parental advice, and Joe makes the comment of how Nora is essentially like Barry, and that Barry needs to understand that a lot of what Nora's doing is just to try and impress him because she's never been able to do that before. And that was very interesting with how Barry then took that as helpful advice to sort of help Nora to train to become a better speedster. And then Iris was interesting in this episode with how she sort of tried to approach Nora, where she tried to get more involved but Nora just kept ignoring her. And so she had to go and find like other things to do to keep her mind off of the fact that her daughter doesn't want to be around her. And with that was a very interesting way of how they chose to introduce Cicada. That instead of like having his first introduction be the first time that Team Flash meets him, that his introduction is through Iris and her sort of investigating the death of the metahuman Gridlock from last episode, and her looking into that death and discovering Cicada. And then when Cicada finally approaches Team Flash, she sort of already recognizes him. So that was a very interesting and kind of cool way for them to introduce the villain, is through Iris. Everything with Blocked seemed kind of weird and seemed like a bit almost unnecessary in my opinion. That yes, it was I guess necessary because they needed like a main villain for the episode, but she wasn't really all that important or like special or big or anything to deem any sort of necessity. She just seemed to be like there whenever they needed something to do with Team Flash. And that is kind of weird, but it also, I feel bad for her. She had really kind of interesting powers with her ability to like condense matter around someone so then they like can't escape, and it makes like this cube block thing to slowly crush them. Then everything with Ralph, Cisco, and Caitlin was interesting and fun, sort of like comedic side to this episode, where Caitlin and Ralph are working to try and help Cisco to get over Gypsy. And like all their tactics and like Ralph's like 60-step plan to get over a woman and stuff was interesting, with how they chose to approach it and like all the little jokes and stuff that they made around that. And just everything there was fun to see, and to see sort of how the team eventually did work through all that stuff to help Cisco and help him to sort of regain his strength and his powers and stuff to then go and help Caitlin to discover more about her father and stuff. Even though the like thing that they found out and stuff about her father wasn't like all that exciting or interesting, it was just literally like the vibe senses telling Caitlin, oh hey, go ask your mom about your dad. And that was kind of annoying, but still it was interesting to see like all the events and stuff leading up to that point. Then just overall, this was a really great episode, and I'm very interested to see sort of like where everything's gonna go from here. And just, yeah. So that was my review of The Flash, Season 5, Episode 2, called Blocked. So, yeah. Bye!